Hello. So I wanted to do a quick video on some really great news. Two things of really great news, actually. Um, two wonderful news from today. So I wanted to share that. So, what I want to do a quick thing on like lead and I'll follow, and how when Jesus leads, and it might make no sense the things you're supposed to do or when you're supposed to do them, but you're supposed to step out in obedience and do them, right? So at the time, now I have no track of time, so bear with me, but it was within the past 2 weeks, some either last week or the week before, and I have been sitting in my room, and I had that word drop into my head about um, teach the kids about bullying. So that was something I pursued and everything. And I'm sorry, I got a message. So that was something I pursued, and now I'll be speaking at Epic Zone, the Boys and Girls Club, and the library for that. So at the time I got the approval for that, I had called and left a message with the person in charge of scheduling it, and then right after that, my health kind of crashed. So she called back, and I missed all of those calls and didn't get back to her. And one of the librarians there goes to church with me, and she said that the lady tried calling me back. So I was like, all right, I'll call Monday. And she said, Monday they're closed. So I said, I'll call back on Tuesday. So since I called, I've kind of been asking God, like, all right, well, we got our in, and I know this was you, and having the principal here 2 hours later, like, there's no doubt in my mind that what I heard was from you, everything arranged was you, it being starting in the library with someone from my church family. I know for a fact this was all you. But I'm sitting here like, but God, cognitively, 90% of every day, I'm in my theta brain. So, there's that, and there's how am I gonna plan it, and be an adult there, and also how am I even gonna write this thing when I'm working with so little time, right? So all of it was just me following in obedience, and especially with right after getting the approval, getting so sick, I'm like, have I bitten off more than I could chew? Like, I even talked a little doubtful to Adam a couple times, and he hasn't let me. He's like, you stop it. Like, you're called for ministry. You're doing the bullying. You're doing all the things you're called to do. Don't even say that just because you're not feeling well at the moment. So I'm like, all right, So I'm like, okay. So on Valentine's Day, I had about 30% of the time, which was a record ever since getting sick, that I was just completely alert that day. So it was a record. So I was like, all right, wow, God, okay. So I started feeling a little bit better, like, okay, I have a little bit more time that I could work with now to get this thing written. And Sandy had been asking me for it because she graded all my college papers and ELM and stuff. And so she's been looking forward to helping me with writing these things, and reading over what I write, and making some corrections and giving her advice and all, because she teaches all sorts of places. I'm not even going to get into that right now. So anywho, today is the very first day ever since getting sick that I have been 100% cognitively alert and aware 24 hours this day. So my record before this was about 3 hours for the day. So that's like a 12th of today. So it went from like 12% up to 100% in one day. So, which is amazing, because today was the day I had to start writing this thing, because I really wanted it written by Tuesday, because the library is closed Monday, so on Tuesday is the day I'm actually calling to schedule what day I'm going in to do this. So now that gives me all of Monday to get this written, right? And I already started and sent what I had over to Sandy and went over it with Adam. So now it's like just the right way. So, I was worried about, God called me to do something, and then I was like, being a doubting Thomas, and then boom, 100% healing, and just 100%. Like I said, literally since September, I haven't had more than 3 hours in a day. Like 3 hours was my absolute record. So to go from 3 hours to 24 in one day is like, okay, God. So yeah, I started writing it, and now I'll finish it tomorrow because I'm able to, so that's what I mean. Like, if God calls you to do something, you step out in faith and you don't let fear get in the way, and you just have to be bold and courageous. And it might not make any sense. The timing might not make sense. You might be paralyzed and you're called to run in a month, and you're like, funny, it's my mind playing tricks on me. Well, if you're called to do it, it means you're going to be running in that month, So, also, I got my next speaking engagement, which is going to be completely different than, I'm sorry. I catch my breath. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay. Yeah, breathe. I got my next speaking engagement, which is completely different than the talking about bullying to the kids. This is at the Hope Center in Geneva, and there's 2 of the women from my church on the board member, and another woman who does fundraising for it. So she was doing a fundraiser at our school for today, and shared some information. And as she was sharing all the information, I was like, wow, that fundraiser sounds amazing. And I was listening to her talk about the place, and it's single moms, young moms, women that got abortion that need biblical healing, a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know a lot about it. Today was the very first time I ever heard about it. So as I'm listening to it, like, my interest was piqued big time. And then I hear it's right in walking distance from my house. It's right by where Greg lives, so I could literally walk there. So the whole not driving thing is no issue. So then I spoke to the lady who was doing the fundraiser, and they're looking for speakers, and they need some. And I told her the different areas I could speak on, and just a quick little bit about my past and how I was a single mom and a young mom, and blah blah blah. So I'd love to come in, and she's like, yeah, that'd be great. So since her doing between the 3 women at my church, that are doing all that, I'm gonna get that going too. So my first step is gonna be finishing everything I'm talking about on bullying tomorrow, then calling the library on Tuesday and getting that scheduled. And then from there, someone from the county is going to be contacting me for the other 2 places. Then after I get my first thing that the Lord led me to do, once I get that completely scheduled, set up, written, planned, all signed, sealed, stamped, and delivered, at that point, I'm going to then reach out and schedule something with the next place, and then jot down, some different things I could talk about on the different topics and whatnot. So super exciting. So, and again, 3 weeks ago, I had no idea about talking to kids about bullying. Yesterday, I had no idea about talking at this place, and let alone even knew about it, or the fact that it's in walking distance and somewhere I walk every single day. So it's something I could do. So that's what I mean. God puts you right where you need to be. If you're called to do something, he opens all the doors. He puts you where you need to be to do it. There's nothing to worry about. There's no fear. There's no anything, it's, you just say, fear, you don't own me, and just keep it moving, because anything you're called to do, it doesn't matter you can't drive. It doesn't matter that day you're like, I have 10% awareness per day, let's hope it's scheduled that 10%, or whatever. You don't have to worry about any of the details, any of the hows, any of what part of it makes sense and what doesn't. Nothing's supposed to make sense in the natural when you're working with God, because God's not in the natural. So you have to get the natural mindset out of your brain, and you have to stop thinking about everything in the natural, because you're not dealing with the natural here. So once you could accept that, the sooner you could move past it and just partner with God and keep going. So I'm really, really excited. I just pulled up the website for the first time just now to send over to Sandy. So she does a ton of work with women, and women in the sex trade, and women in Hope Team Challenge, and prison ministry women, tons of stuff, and even more stuff that she's currently doing for stuff in Philadelphia she has coming up, and St. Lucia and stuff. So she's always going. She's tough. She's it's her 70th birthday coming up next month, and she is a firecracker. She runs circles around most people. So, and she's still working full time, and just wow, impressive woman. So I strive to be a lot like her, and with her mentorship and her guidance, I'm sure that's going to be very doable. But I'm going to go because I'm tired, and I just wanted to share that little bit because I was super excited. It's almost, 9:00 at night, and I've been, I feel like, welcome back, it's crazy, it was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just not having my mind all this time for so long, just little glimpses, and then it go away. I'm like, wait, come back, and now, all day. And it's weird because now I'm like, and I'm just pedal to the metal, and Adam's like, whoa, okay. I told him, I'm a force, and now it's like, doom, idea. And I was like, Adam, I have my brain back. I have to use it, and it was just like all day long. I'm like, how long do I have? So I had all day, so I guess I didn't have to rush a gazillion ideas per hour. But now that I know I'm going to have my brain all day, I could take it down a notch and definitely slow down. But when you first get your brain back for the first time, you don't know it's here to stay. So you're used to cramming, your whole thoughts into that 1 hour or 2 hours, but now I have all day for all these thoughts. So I'm really excited for them. And I'm going to do some more research on this Hope Center and see everything that they work with, so I could see any single area I know stuff on and kind of start jotting down my different ideas. I'm not going to do anything by writing it and just reading it. What I'm going to do is more write things down in bullet points, because I have a photographic memory, and just kind of read it over and over, my bullet points, to be sure the different topics I want to speak on, I touch on those. And then just kind of do it that way. So I'll see all the different categories, put bullets for each, memorize each, and then take it from there. So sorry, getting messages. It's like, squirrel. That part hasn't come back yet, the keen focus and concentration. But I mean, I was 37 all day today, so that was kind of cool. I was able to crack the whip in the parenting department. Dante was not used to a full day of adult mommy. He learned real fast again, but he was able to get his whole mess in the kitchen done, and all the dishes, and he remade a whole mess after Adam cleaned it. And then usually I'd be kind of not well enough to rectify the situation, but because I had my brain all day, it got done 100%. Now he's like, oh, she's been here all day, so he's been checking in all day and seeing okay, fun time's over, she's back. Sorry guys, he's probably sending out mass text messages to all his friends she's back. There was a time when I was first sick, and Dante was kind of playing on some things. I'm not gonna lie, he was using it a little bit to his advantage. So, there's a day that all of a sudden he like walks in the living room, is when I still camped out down there, and he gives me a glass of milk, and he tucked me in, and he like asked me if I needed anything. I wanted to put my music on my phone. Went through this whole bedtime routine, turned out all the lights, tucked me in, like wished me a good night and all. And I was in like my 4-year-old brain, like, oh, thank you for the milk, and night night. So I like start laying down, and I'm all like in bliss, like, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like, mom brain kicks in, and I was like, wait, wait a second. What's going on here? So I kind of was like, Dante! And then I grabbed my phone. I realized it's like 7:30 at night. Like, it wasn't even freaking dark out yet. And he was trying to sneak a bunch of kids in the house. And he had me going for a minute and had, I don't know if it's Jesus, like, Ash, get up, or what it was. But luckily, I was able to snap out of it and confront him instantly and be like, dude, do not take advantage of your sick mom. That's not cool at all, So there's been a lot of those moments. Parenting with F&D was definitely a trip, but it's just weird. You don't actually see, like, your remission coming because it doesn't have to be this progression, which is like how my mind goes. I kind of watch trends and algorithms and things like that. So I was kind of looking for my own trends and patterns and trying to figure out at what point I'd be healed based on like the progression of what was healing when and how and why and what set back. And okay, this set me back 3 days and it would have been accelerated 6, So I've been kind of trying to plot the whole thing out, but it turns out Jesus doesn't fit into my small little ball. It doesn't, you could go from 30% to 100% in one day, and you could go from, months and months and months of being one way to boom, and that's how Jesus works, So that's why you just gotta really like hold on to your healing. Stop trying to overanalyze everything. Don't be Ashley. I'm not a great example because, clearly, but I'm trying to be better and, I'm getting there, little by little, but, it's just, I'm in shock, and it's kind of like, I don't want to go to sleep because, I haven't had a day like this in forever, and I'm like, I missed myself, because, when you snap into your alert brain and your regular brain, that it's like short-lived and few and far between, and you're like held captive by that other part of your brain that, really kind of took over, so it's kind of like, let me out, and you just can't get out. So now that I'm out, it's like, whoa, that was weird. So I spent like a big portion of the day kind of being like, God, that was kind of weird, and just finally being able to process it because my time to process things was so limited. I didn't spend time processing my emotions and feelings about like certain things. I spent that time on researching as much as I could, parenting as much as I could, like cramming everything I needed to do life into that like hour to 3 hour window that I had. And there were times it was a 0 hour window. So I didn't use it on what I got to use it on today. Today, I just got to be like, whoa, that was a weird few months. That was interesting. I don't want to go back there, but let's keep the stress down because, I like being 37 way more than I like being 4. It's a lot easier for the inmates to not run the asylum. Is that or the inmates run the prison? I don't know. The prisoners run the prison and the inmates run the asylum. That might be it. Yeah, so it's a lot easier to not have that happen when I could be 37 and not like 4 to 7, or like 14, like I'm not adulting today and just like no cares in the world. So, how interesting that all was. It's just, I'm probably gonna be looking back for a while. I've looked back several times today, and it's just kind of like, what was that? Like, why? I don't know. It was weird, and I understand it all perfectly, but I'm glad my brain just like whatever. I'm glad it did that again. Thank you, brain and Jesus, because I can't even think my brain. My brain's the one that revolted. So thank you, Jesus only. Brain, you're making up for it, but geez. It was an interesting time, and this is the least amount of pain I've had in the evening in a very, very long time too. So it's weird. It's weird to feel like you could like taste and touch and smell remission, like so close, and to feel a glimpse of just a healthy, normal life after like not for so long and really forgetting what it feels like. And it's just weird. And it's weird walking through my house now because all day long, every time I walk through, I like recognize it. And I'm looking around, my room's really freaking cluttered. I'm gonna have to rethink a little bit of this design work here, because all day today I was like, has my room always been this messy? Has it always been so cluttered? Yeah, so yeah, I think my bedroom style may have not exactly been my bedroom style, which I'm gonna leave it for a while because Amber put a lot of hard work into decorating it and stuff, and it was very, very comforting for that period of time, especially needing all the color and everything. It was super comforting. And I'm still gonna do a jungle theme. I'm not gonna like completely switch it up, but I did notice today it felt messy and cluttered. I'm gonna move some things out of here. I don't even know where to start, actually, and I'm not gonna do it today because I'm just gonna enjoy being completely alert and how weird it is. Even like I was able to put on the TV and think about what I like to watch and what would be enjoyable. It wasn't the same as like and just kind of clicking things when you're just completely not yourself, and you're just clicking on, I don't know, anything you liked at age 4. Like, I don't even know what to say about it, but it's just been ridiculous. I don't think I need a guest chair. I was about to put a bunk bed in here, a guest couch in here, and Adam was telling me too, like, I don't think you need all that. And I was like, yes, I do, I live here in this bed, and how are people gonna visit me? And I would have today been like, oh my gosh, it's so cluttered. Like, I would have hated it today. It probably would have given me anxiety all day today, honestly. Yeah, regular Ashley, doesn't like the clutter. I like artwork on the walls. Like, I'm kind of a little bit, of a regular adult. It's just so weird. I have stuff on the ceiling. I laid back at one point. I was like, that's interesting. Just, today's been weird. It's been beautiful. And of course, this would happen on a Sunday, which makes it even more special because I just got to, worship at church, not in pain. This has been, most Sundays, it's, a lot of Sundays I just have tears streaming down my face because I'm just in so much pain worshiping. Or sometimes I go and sit in the back because I can't stop crying and I don't want to make everyone awkward, but there hasn't been too many I could count. Definitely, if any, definitely a couple. So it was just a really nice day. I was still in bed because I'm exhausted. Yeah. And I have a very busy day tomorrow, so I just really wanted to rest. If my brain was this alert, I just wanted to sit all day and bask in my memories and see what I could remember and think about things, read things, research. Like, just, I wanted to spend the day with my brain. It was like we got reunited, and I was like, hey, don't be a stranger. Please don't be a stranger. Like, stay a while, don't go ever again. Be the guest that never leaves. Like, all that stuff. Like, I like her a lot more than ever before. So now I'm just going to keep her around, and it's incredible what God could do. And, all of you could heal. There's no special Jedi mind tricks I know, and it was not my doing by any means. It was just Jesus, and, all of you could heal no matter how long you've been how you are, no matter how far gone you are, no matter if you can't see the turn in the road. You could go from one day you're not okay and the next 100%, even if it's been months and months and months of that not showing it would happen, or showing that it would only happen at a very, very, very slow progression. At the rate I was going, if in the course of 4 months I got down to 90%, I had a little bit of a road ahead of me, and I was just like, oh, it's going to be interesting seeing what person shows up to each speaking engagement, yeah, so I'm going to spend at least a few more hours a week and just thinking about, everything. And tomorrow I have physical therapy and the YMCA and coffee at Greg's and writing that stuff on bullying, which I have an angle. I'm not going to tell you guys. What I'll do is, like, kind of my footnotes for it, I'll just post that so you guys can get the gist of what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to get into that now. And then I believe there was some other stuff. I don't know. But, I'll let tomorrow's thoughts be tomorrow's thoughts. And just today I'm going to just enjoy with me, I'm just really, God is so good. He was so good, yesterday, so good the day before, so good all these days of my sickness. But it's just like special days like today, I'm just reminded of, everything. So it's just, you got to keep, just keep trusting God, and it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to, you could seem like the craziest, most delusional person in the world. Most believers do, you're sitting there, and most of us do look crazy, and, that's okay. It's just, look as crazy as you want, but, just keep believing and praising and thanking Jesus and trusting his timing. And, I'm looking forward to everything now. I was already, but it's just like a little more exciting to think about it, Oh, and also, I am a lot more bored now. That was the one good thing, I guess, about being so unaware for so long, is I couldn't realize how bored I was. But now that I have my mind and I want to go everywhere in the world and do everything, and I'm looking up just everything in the whole planet. I've looked up 10 trillion zillion gazillion things. I think I've researched every minute of today. I don't know. It's just, God is so good. And I'm looking forward to waking up in the morning and just going straight to the gym, and just pushed myself really hard at physical therapy, and it's going to be a really great week. And I'll let you guys know, I'm going to probably make the thing for 2 weeks from now or 1 week from now. I'm going to ask Jesus. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to write everything. I'm going to have a cup of coffee even. Unless I have no coffee. Actually, I have 0 coffee. Oh, wait. I'm having coffee at Greg's. Okay. Coffee will be served. I have to get my coffee pot from... Oh, so if you guys have those machines, let me think of what it's called. It's been gone for so long. I don't remember. It's like a Keurig, but it makes only espresso. It starts with maybe an N. I don't know. Rhymes with I'll just tell you guys tomorrow. But anyway, those coffee pots that make only espresso that look like a Keurig that I can't remember. A Nespresso. So if you guys have a Nespresso, they now just started making reusable Nespresso holders. So you don't only have to get the Nespresso pods. So if you lose your job and can't just buy Nespresso pods all the time and have an Nespresso machine, they do have the reusable filters. So I ordered one of those a few weeks ago. So it never got shipped, which worked out because I didn't have the machine to put in anyway. But so if you guys have one of those machines, you could get those and then put any coffee you want in there. And I'm gonna make my homemade creamer. I do like coconut condensed milk, cream of coconut milk, and then all different flavored vanilla extracts. Not vanilla extracts, all different flavored extracts. I mix a bunch of them. I do like a banana Foster's one, a raspberry. Don't get me started. I do so many. Actually, Jen got me started on that. She was the first one to ever make her own coffee creamer. She got me started on the Nespresso machine, and the make my own creamers. And I'm so thankful for it. I put a little bit of creamed honey, and then my homemade creamer, and it's perfect. I love it. I can't actually wait for that now. I'm really excited. And I have like that little frother, and it heats it up like super hot as it froths it. So you like add it, and it's really nice. So I'm gonna probably slightly adult my room a little bit this week. Just slightly. I'm gonna tell Amber, like, I left the window open. They all blew off the walls. I don't know what happened, but they're a bit bold for my liking. And I like bold. I just want like regular artwork up on my walls again. I don't know I know what was going on. I wasn't of sound mind for a little while, but yeah. I don't know. All right, I gotta get back to my brain, you guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and happy Monday Fun Day. And I can't wait to wake up in the morning. I hope everyone has a great return back to your work week, and that you got to end the week with a really nice weekend. Bye.